right at it.
Hear the hunger in my voice, they used to tell me to speak up. The problem was what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just gon' change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame it. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt your vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God, Lord, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. It's all passion, it's tradition, it ain't fashion. It's no action, they make threats and it's still passing. I think massive, no respond, that's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots, I'm cinematic. I ain't average, I'm an overthrow fanatic. How I go, you lose and win like asthmatic. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons, in the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up. Now when I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch, I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rent. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the ghost. And they know I'm raw, and they know the spot, and I'm feeling large, still in charge. I don't make it follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they hear on March. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that God in me. You can focus on them dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now.
I try to make the news, I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' be the deal. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home with the truth, I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up, man, y'all try to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General YAHANNA, presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General YAHANNA is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Serious, and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put your faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on Congo.
Amazing honor don't lack no soldiers. With the Spirit of the Lord, we don't lack no soldiers.
The same, black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Hate Christ in their image, hate you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell, toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, rank and order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí con la Comandante General Yahanna, I.S.U.P.K. This is what Commander General Yahanna did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. I had to dig.
That's right.
You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Hey, Shalom. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure TikTok is straight. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Shabbat to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Latam Bashim Yoshai to all the sisters. You already know I'm priest enough stuff 500 Barak Yahweh with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street under commanding General Yahanna. You understand? And we have our scripture, our Thursday afternoon scripture breakdown. You already know it's every Thursday, right? We have an interesting, well, not so much an interesting topic in the sense where we should have been knowing that by now, right? That we should not, like Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The true biblical Jews of antiquity, the 12 tribes of Israel, we should never trust our enemies. And time after time, we're being reminded that we should never trust our enemies regardless of what's going on. Regardless of whatever breadcrumb they leave us, regardless of whatever false hope they gave us, we should never trust our enemies. And as we trust our enemies more down the line, we're just going to be reminded the harshest way possible that, you know, we should have never trusted our enemies in the first place. You understand? We're going to go over one article, and we have, I think, 2 posts that recently came out that shows the true nature of our enemies. Who are our enemies? Well, it's simple. Our enemies are every single nation that is not on this chart you see right behind me, on YouTube channel and on a Facebook channel. Every single nation is not an Israelite, whether it's the Asians, whether it's the Arabs, whether it's the East Indians, the Africans. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. You understand? We should never try to join any other nation. We should never trust them. As a matter of fact, we were forbidden to trust any other nations. even to elect a leader, right, to rule over us, first of all, besides the fact that the leader that should rule over us has to be elected by God himself, it should have never been any other nation but an Israelite. You understand? So let me show you that, because when the Bible says prove all things, we need to prove that we should never have any other leader but an Israelite ruling over us, right? Let me show you that right now. We're live on I.S.U.P.K Toronto on TikTok, right? Also on I.S.U.P.K Toronto on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as I.S.U.P.K Montreal, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If anyone has any question or comments, of course, put them in the chat. We'll address them. But let me start with this. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 17. And understand that anyone ruling over us should be no one but a brother, appointed by the Most High himself, right? Colby Jack, you should get over yourself. He seems you have issues with trusting your own brother. If you want to trust anyone besides your own people, that's on you. But you're showing that you are part of the problem. You understand? So let's get this. Let me just share my screen on the YouTube and the Facebook. And why am I going to the Bible? Because the Bible also, there's a big misconception that the Bible, we should not read the Bible. It's a white man's book, yada, yada, yada. Well, first of all, anyone making that claim should prove the Bible is a white man's book. Second, we go to the Bible because to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, it is our historical record, our moral code. It is not a religious book like the general public and the Roman Catholic Church pretended to be. You understand? If you rather trust in the DNA test administered to you by the oppressor himself, by the Caucasian man, and not trust in the Bible, I mean, it just shows your lack of understanding, because it has nothing to do with our oppressors at all. It's all about our people. It's all about not repeating the mistakes of the past and making sure, basically, we don't repeat the mistakes of the past so that we are in rulership. This is why the I.S.U.P.K is so important, because we're teaching you not to repeat those same mistakes of the past so that, you know, the kingdom comes. And when the kingdom comes, you don't have to wait to come back into the kingdom. You're part of building it, just like we're part of building it by changing our people, right? So let's start with Deuteronomy 17 and 14, where it says, when thou art come into the land which thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. You understand? So basically, just like the other nations, this is another reason why we should not vote, right? Or we should not choose our ruler. Why? Because when God put us in our land, we just watched the other nations, you know, vote, elect a king, an emperor. And we're like, you know what? Why not be like the other nations? You know why? Because God told us not to watch the other nations and copy them, basically. Model our way after their ways. We should never do that. So now we're watching the other nations and we see that just like they set a king over them, we'll set a king over us. You understand? Let's read verse 15, right? Verse 15 says, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. So first of all, that's number one. That's number two, as a matter of fact. The fact that we should not follow after these other nations, and we should not choose anyone ruling over us that God hasn't chose. Number three now, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. And here's the problem, because the people that we choose to rule over us are not brothers. You understand? Even though you may have, for instance, the presidents of Haiti, right? The first Black Republic, the presidents of Haiti, you understand? At the end of the day, they all answer to an oppressor. And God didn't choose them to rule over the Levites, the so-called Haitians. So it doesn't matter even if they're brothers or not. Most of them most likely work for an oppressor or answer to an oppressor, and God didn't put them in the place of power that they have. You understand? That's number one. Now that's out of the way. We're going to go into an article which is exactly going to reflect that scripture that we just read. I'm just reading a comment from TikTok. Southern Savage say, while he's speaking English, the reason why we speak English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese because we were colonized by your people. You understand? We were colonized by the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. We didn't have a choice but to speak French, English, Spanish, Portuguese. You understand? This is why we speak English. This is why we speak Spanish and French, Portuguese whatsoever, because we were a colonized people. Not because we choose to speak English. You understand? And just like it's important to take back our culture, the ISPK we have Hebrew classes every Friday. Tune into every single ISUPK channel on Friday. You're going to learn your true language, the Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue, actual Paleo Hebrew. Not that Yiddish that the people speak in all those synagogues around New York and the tunnels, whatever the case is. No, we don't speak Yiddish. We speak actual Paleo Hebrew. You want to come learn your language? Listen, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Tune into any single ISPK class. Officer Shy1 on the TikTok. Now, let me get this article for y'all. Ensure that we should never trust our enemies. Hey, Shalom, Adawan Yabashim Shabbat. There's a regalia in the chat as well. Now, what does it say? It says El Salvador's Bukele offers to quote unquote fix chaos-torn Haiti. First of all, the president of El Salvador, for those who don't know, is not a brother. He's Palestinian, of Palestinian descent. You understand? And now that he claimed to have quote unquote fixed El Salvador and the gang problem over there, which he hasn't, you know, he's just suppressing Salvadorians more than ever, right? He claimed that he's able to fix the quote-unquote problem in Haiti. The thing is that, okay, let me put it like this. Any criminal should be incarcerated, right? This is nothing to argue about. But he took away any single human right that our brothers may have had remaining. You understand? In El Salvador. And even if you're not part of the gang, let's say your brother's part of the gang, if you're guilty by association. So you could be incarcerated and have nothing to do with a gang, or you probably have a neighbor that you probably drank a beer with, hang around a few times. If they seen that you're guilty by association and you're guilty by affiliation, and now, you know, you're being incarcerated in El Salvador. You understand? Whether you're 18, 13, it doesn't matter. So it seems like for Bukele, our people, it's like they're never oppressed enough. It's like the level of oppression that our people get, it's like, you know, in his mind, it's just not enough. Why not oppress them more? And we should not expect Bukele to care. Why? Because he's not a brother. He's a heathen. He's an enemy of God, which means he's an enemy of us. You understand? And he claims to be able to, quote unquote, fix Haiti. Well, look at the state of El Salvador right now. What do you think he's going to do in Haiti? You understand? Also, Shy1 has issue to come up on the TikTok. Give me 1 second. There you go. Also, Safara said, is the star of Remfin? This is not a star. See, if anyone has any question or comment, that's fine. Or you want to be a troll, that's fine. But come with anything of substance whatsoever. This is not a star. Stars don't have points. Stars of balls of gases. The sun is a star. You understand? A huge star, as a matter of fact. This is not a star. This is the shield of David, the Magan Dawada, which, long story short, this is David's signature, official signet he would put on any official document. It's not a star at all. But hey, You're free to believe that you're a giraffe in this kingdom. So believe what the hell you want. That doesn't make it true. So now let's get into this article. It says El Salvador's gang busting President Nayib Bukele said Sunday that he can fix the spiraling crisis in Haiti, where criminal groups have unleashed havoc in recent days. Here's the problem, though. He claims to be able to fix Haiti. We already know he's going to go after the Haitian people who we see being at the forefront of the news, right? But they're not showing the oligarchs. Yes, and they're not showing the aristocracy, right, in Haiti, who's actually made up of Caucasian people. He's not saying, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take care of their aristocracy. That's the reason why Haiti is destroyed right now. His focus is on incarcerating and oppressing the Haitian people even more than they're already oppressed. You understand? That's the problem. And this is what this is who he wants to to deal with when he says he's going to fix the spiraling crisis in Haiti. You want to fix the spiraling crisis in Haiti? How about you stand down from being president of El Salvador? Number one. Number two, how about you let Commanding General YAHANNA deal with his people? Because only Commanding General YAHANNA will be able to fix Haiti. You understand? How about that? If you're really sincere about fixing Haiti, just like you were really sincere about fixing El Salvador, how about you let our people deal with our people? This is an inside house problem. We cannot let outsiders in to fix our problems. Now, how does that make sense? You understand? Let's keep reading and we'll get a precept for that. Bukele 42 is widely popular at home and across Latin America for his crackdown on gangsters, even as rights activists raise alarm over arbitrary arrest in inhumane prison conditions. Listen, Bukele is arresting anyone, again, that might be affiliated with a gang, or you not necessarily have ever been in the gang. If they just need to think that you have anything to, any role to play with, whether it's being a family member, being a friend. Damn, you probably were in the same, classroom. You're going to get incarcerated. He's not, there's no discrimination. Then he said, we can fix it. He said, we can fix it. He's talking about the state in Haiti, right? He said, but we'll need a UNSC, which is a United Nations Security Council resolution, the consent of the host country, and all the mission expenses to be covered. He's just waiting for the green light. He's waiting for someone to say, Bukele, we need your help. Bukele, we agree to the terms and conditions. Bukele, you got a green light. Go ahead, go into Haiti and go fix it. You understand? That's all he's waiting for. We already know he's not going to fix the country. Listen, if you never wanted Haiti to be like that, you should have never put any embargo on the Haitians for liberating themselves from captivity. And then to add insult to injury, you put a debt on the Haitians. When I say I'm talking about our oppressor, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, the French and the U.S., even though the French already put a debt on Haiti to reimburse to compensate for the loss of slave labor. What they did, the U.S. came in, and how did the U.S. cash in on Haiti? They cashed in as a bill collector. That's how they cashed in. You understand? If you had never wanted Haiti to be like that in the first place, you would let the Haitians actually be free. You would not. You would actually, if you don't want our people to be destroyed, right, sincerely, you probably go back to the Caucasus Mountains. You probably go back to the caves. That's it. You would actually leave our people alone. You would give the land back to the natives. You would stop oppressing Blacks, Latinos, and Native American in every single city throughout the American continent, whether it's North, Central, or South, or even in the Caribbean. You would stop flooding our neighborhoods with drugs. You would stop flooding Haiti with military weapons, because Haiti don't manufacture any assault weapons, but somehow there's a bunch of M16s and AR-15s in Haiti, and you sincerely think you could fix it. You understand? Good night. I'm not even going to mention the fact that Canada, France, and the US are funding Kenya with $800 million to fix the mess that they created in the first place. Good night. Give me 1 second. Let me get that preset. Right. I'm gonna get the preset right now. It's gonna be in Let me get that preset real quick. They go to Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. Before I read the preset, I'm gonna get into the comments because we're on TikTok. Some people have some things to say. Let's see what they have to say, right? Before I read that precept. Ottoman, the Turk, you're Jewish. No, we're not Jewish. We're Israelites. Win souls to Christ. Listen, we're not Christian. You could keep that. You could keep that comment for the church. As a matter of fact, everyone in the church should get out the church. You understand? Let me get Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter." Listen, it sounds nice, right? Canada wants to clean up their mess. France wants to clean up their mess. The US wants to clean up their mess. Bukele said, yeah, we can fix Haiti. It sounds good, right? Let's keep reading. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Listen, it's all talk. It's all talk. You understand? He's not going to fix Haiti. He cannot fix Haiti. The US doesn't care. France doesn't care. Canada doesn't care about the mess they created in Haiti. Prove that they don't care. They're not even willing to pick up the, they were not willing to clean up the mess that they created. They're going to have to pay some dirty Africans to come into Haiti and even mess it up even more. And really, you could tell it's all staged in the sense that they're creating a state of chaos so that now it's time, to bring in the big guns. Salaka, it's time for us to step in. You understand? That's really all it is. They claim, yeah, let's have Kenya help us. Why would you request that African nation that's more than miles away from Haiti to come and help you? You understand? Like, you're willing to write a $800 million check to Kenya to fix the issues that you created in Haiti. Listen, let me help you out. Let me make it short. Let me help you out. Write that $8 million check that you give into Haiti. Write that check to Commander General YAHANNA. We'll help the Haitians. You understand? We'll help the Haitians. Damn, we help the Haitians all the time. We send clothes and food to Haiti all the time, even in a state of chaos. What is Kenya going to do? I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. Kenya's going to go there just like the Red Cross and them. And what they're going to do? They're going to assault little children. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You understand? Independent journalists say you just talk. Listen, if we just talk, I dare you to say that when we out here feeding 160,000 migrants when they come over the border. Say that. Say that then, that we just talk. You understand? Say that then. Right? Because what you're doing right now is just talking, but what fruits are you producing besides the typing on TikTok? You understand? And nobody's running. This is not your platform. Right? You understand? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Listen, they're going to tell you, what did Justin Trudeau says? As a matter of fact, we're going to get to that as well. Justin Trudeau, and so 1 second, before I finish, listen, independent journalists, if you're impatient, you're in the wrong life if you want to be impatient, you understand? If you have a question, ask it in the chat, and we'll see if it's worth bringing you up. If not, you're just, you're gonna be put on timeout, right? So if you have a question, type it in the chat first. Listen, nobody's running from. Listen, good night. No sweat. Listen, what did Justin Trudeau say? Justin Trudeau, besides what he said about Haiti, right? He said when he was campaigning, he would provide clean water to the reservations if he had been elected as a prime minister of Canada. That was back in 2017. We're in 2024, and not one drop of clean water was provided to the natives. You know what they did, as a matter of fact? There's a form that they have the First Nation fill so that they get compensated. They write them like a check of less than $1,000. They write them a check that say that if you were affected or if you ever drank dirty water on the res, here's a check. But if there's more dirty water on the res after we give you the first check, then you cannot request for another one. And that's our oppressor. You understand? That's our oppressor. It sounds good. What did Justin Trudeau say? Yeah, vote for me. I'm going to give you clean water on the res. 7 years later, fast forward 2024, 7 years later, not one drop of clean water. You understand? He doesn't give a damn. And guess what? Let me share this on the screen. Come to find out, is when a report that Canada has now spent more than $13 billion in funding to Ukraine since February 2022, 2 years ago. $13 billion. Yet he cannot spend what? He cannot spend not even $500,000 for the res. He can't spend $1 million. Good. Now he can't even spend $1 to bring like a bottle of water to the reservation. Yet $13 billion to Ukraine. And we're still turning around like, you know what? Maybe they're not all bad. You know, maybe we just have to wait. Maybe the Ukrainians' issue is just a pressing matter. Well, guess what? The natives been requesting for clean water for the longest time. The natives been on reservation for more than just 2 years. We're talking about a Russian-Ukraine war. When did the Russian-Ukraine war start? What, 3 years ago? 4 years ago, max? How long the native have been on reservations? You understand? These people never cared about you. They don't care about you. They never will care about you. Each nation cares about its own. You're going to say, well, Zelensky is Ukrainian, Justin Trudeau is Canadian. It doesn't matter. They're Caucasians. Caucasians care about Caucasians. Just like Africans, they rally. Even they put their internal issues aside to kick out every single Caucasian nation in Africa. I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, right? They're kicking out every Caucasian influence from Africa, regardless of whatever internal issue they have on the continent. Each nation care about their own. Palestine is being oppressed by the so-called Jewish man. The Arab world is against the Jewish man. Whether it's the Saudis, whether it's the Egyptians, the Syrians. And that's good. Each nation should support their own and not look for an external body to support them. Well, guess what? This is exactly what we should do as well. And we should have been doing that from the longest time. As a matter of fact, we're not even supposed to rely on anyone but ourselves. And the reason why we keep on being destroyed is because we rely on outside forces. The natives are expecting Justin Trudeau to give them water. You understand? I think it's election time in the U.S. Good night. Who are they going to vote for? They're going to either go for the liberals who say, well, you know, you're not black enough if you don't vote liberal, or they're going to go for Trump. Why? Because they don't want another senile idiot in the office. Well, guess what? Whether it's the liberals, whether it's the listen, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, is two wings on the same bird. Like, they never care about you. What makes you think they're going to care? Like, as time goes by, we're going to progress. What is progress? Integration? How has integration ever helped us? Like, there's less black businesses ever since integration. Where's the last time you heard about a black college opening? You understand? That's integration. Integration makes you forgive and forget everything about your oppressor. That's it. And just show you how integration is really a idiotic concept, right? You're the only people who's told to integrate and to compromise your culture, your people, and to stop loving your own to love your oppressor. Listen, there's that video. I think it's from last year. This thing is I forget if it's East Indian or Iranian. This man is interviewed in Canada. He said, "I immigrated here, but I never pledged. I'll never pledge allegiance, and I'll never pledge allegiance. My loyalty is to Islam and my country. I don't care about the people wearing the crown. No, that's not who I have to pledge allegiance to. I don't give a damn about that." I was like, damn. And no one's forcing them to pledge allegiance. But we're forced to be proud Canadians. We're forced to be proud Americans. We're forced to be proud French, to be proud British. We're the only ones who are forced to give up our culture to be accepted in this empire. You understand? And to be accepted in this empire really is to hate your own. Why? Because the Caucasian empire thrives on our oppression. And again, let me show you that they will never give a damn about you. Give me 1 second. Let me get this. Right. First of all, I'm going to show you this, right? Understand that you should never trust them. Then I'm going to show you that you should not give a damn about them. Just like they will never give a damn about you. They'll only give a damn about their own. It's not even rocket science. I mean, that's just common sense. Right? Here's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10 in the Apocrypha. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You understand? We should never trust our enemy. And just like over time, iron's going to rust, same thing as his wickedness. You know, you're never going to, listen, you might find that, that friend that went, you were going to school together. You probably live in the same building on the same floor. Listen, just like iron rusted, he's going to show his true colors over time. You understand? Just like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You should never trust our enemies. And now let me show you that it's normal for them to care about their own and not about anyone else. It's normal for anyone, as a matter of fact. Let's get Ecclesiasticus again, chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. It's normal for Justin Trudeau to fund the Ukraine with $13 billion for the past 2 years and not give a damn about the natives. It's normal. Why? Because the Ukrainians are his people. They're Caucasians. Blacks, Latinos, and Native and the First Nations are not Justin Trudeau's Caucasians, nor concerned. We should know never to put our trust in our enemies, ever. It's not even rocket science. Imagine now, right, on a wildlife reservation. Would you ever picture the gazelle trust in the leopard? Imagine the wildebeest trusting in the lion. You would say that animal, listen, that animal has a mental illness. Well, guess what? Blacks, Latinos, and First Nations, indigenous people, we suffer from a mental illness called Stockholm Syndrome. You understand? Khan, there's Officer Shaiwan on the TikTok. Shalom, Yabash and Shabak. What's going on?
What you're saying is so heavy, and it's, just this last 10 minutes, these things you're breaking down, what was really on my mind is, I don't know, have you ever seen that show called Barbarian? It's on YouTube, or it's on Netflix. You ever seen that show?
I'll probably watch it tonight.
Man, it's a show about basically these Vikings who are conquered and destroyed by the Romans, and it's the storyline kind of surrounds this girl and this man who are in love, and they watched their whole family be unalived, their whole village be unalived and abused, and I'm not sure which words I could use, but basically abused and unalived, you know, while they were young children. And it's like, as they got older and as they were teens, it was like they spent their whole childhood just training to be able to get vengeance on the people that destroyed them.
Right.
And it's like, that's such a normal concept for people to understand. You know what I mean? Like, people can watch that show and relate to that show to be like, oh, these people destroyed my village. They destroyed my nation. They destroyed my country. They're going around waging war, and they're just unaliving all the people that I love and care about. And what's crazy is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we had, you know, altogether over like 160 million people unalived. You know, over millions of people abused, and all these different horrific things that we know of have happened to us in the history. But as you just brought out, that case of Stockholm syndrome, where it's like, we're born here and we just kind of look around us like this is our safe place, this is our home, and these are the people that I got to learn to get along with. Even though every single day they spit in our face.
Good night.
Even though every day, like, they tell us it's not okay for us to have our hair like this. It's not okay for us to talk the way we do, dress the way we do, be who we are. We know that we're outcasts in this kingdom, but because of that Stockholm syndrome, we don't think to look in the past and be like, these are the people that, and not even just the past, but even the present, these are the people who are constantly unaliving and oppressing and destroying our people. And that precept that came to mind is, it's like, I think it's in Lamentations where it says, you know, we're constantly looking to a nation that can't save us.
Damn right.
You know? And it's like, we're so destroyed here in North and South Central America, you know what I mean? And until we really wake up and understand that this is not the land of our home, it's not the land of our rest, it's not the land of our peace, we're never going to want better as a people.
No, that's correct.
If I could end with this, one of the greatest lessons I've learned being in the I.S.U.P.K. is to desire power, desire rulership. You know what I mean? Not just to sit here and desire the crumbs that our oppressors give us. You know what I mean? Like LeBron James was given, I think he's given like $1 billion from Nike over the course of a lifetime, when Nike's making over $40 million a year.
Yeah, good night.
LeBron James is the reason they're making all that money. It's like you're such a slave here in North and South Central America. He should be asking for $30 million every single year. But over a lifetime, he accepts $1 billion, and he thinks that he's accomplished something. You know what I mean? Our people got to really start looking to the big picture and desiring to have our own country, our own government, our own military, our own language. We really got to be desiring and looking forward to something bigger than just being a slave.
No, damn right. Before I read the comment, listen, every single nation, the only way we're going to be able to achieve that is if we fight for it. Before fighting physically for it, you have to fight spiritually for it. You have to change your spirit, your mind, the way you think, the way you act. Because you're not going to be able to fight at all, you understand, without changing your soul first, without being unalived and being reborn. You understand? Not as a reborn Christian. This is just, you know, your reborn Christian is just a wet Christian. You just dip yourself in a bathtub and then you're a reborn Christian. No. Being reborn is coming into the truth. It's coming to the I.S.U.P.K. It's doing your 90 days, getting your Hebrew name, getting rid of every filthiness that you carry on your back from the world. That's being reborn. You understand? As a sister, you're being reborn in the UPK. You don't have a man. You get your Hebrew name. You get yourself a man in the school. As a brother, you're being reborn in the UPK. You're a young man. You're a trooper. You're an officer of 50, 500, 1,000, 5,000. And then you get your rank up. That's being reborn into the world. You're being reborn into this truth. And then you're going to be able to fight for your people. Fight for your culture. Fight for the power. Every single nation, they fight. The Palestinians, they fight. You understand? Every single nation fights to protect what they have dear to them, which is their culture, which is their land, which is their language, which is what we should do, is fight for our own, just like they fight for their own. As a matter of fact, we should not even look at these nations like we should take example on them. The thing is that these nations observed us from a long time. Even though we messed up, we turn to our God, and our God fights for us and delivers the nations to us. But we fight. We always a warrior race. These nations know who we are. You understand? It's time to be an example again. You understand? Before I get to the other precept, let me read this comment. Budsy said they want to ban abortions because they need a quote-unquote worker class generation. Well, guess what? Let them ban abortions. God said, thou shalt not unalive. Let them ban abortions. Abortion is murder. You understand? Let them ban abortions. They're going to need soldiers. Listen, World War III is at hand right now. They're going to need soldiers to fight the Russians, to fight the Chinese, the North Koreans. They're going to need soldiers to try and fight against Christ. Yeah, let them ban abortions. They're going to need the soldiers. They're going to need the firepower. You understand? They're going to need the soldiers. Let them ban abortions. Because they're going to need the soldiers. Nobody wants to fight. Well, guess what? You're going to need somebody on the front lines. You cannot afford to ban abortions regardless. You can't. You understand? Let them ban abortions. Who cares? Rich Pretty Pintos A says, Shalom, Yahweh Shemala, Tabash Yahushai. It's Shalom, not Shalom. You understand? Just for the record, for the people coming in. Right? But no sweat says Shalom. If you have any questions or comments as well, put it in the chat. But again, your oppressor wants to ban abortion, let them ban abortions. We should not care about that. As a matter of fact, it's even better for us that they ban abortions. Why? Because our people, it's time to know that you should not be aborting your baby. You should not. You understand? Your oppressor told you, listen, if you're not ready to have a baby, just take its life, vacuum it out of yourself, and then we'll take care of it. All they do is that they sell the body parts. They use it for stem cells. Oppressor is a disgusting devil. But let's get back on the topic. We should not trust our oppressor. Just like the oppressor is telling you, go ahead and abort your baby, you should not, because you should not trust the oppressor. You understand? Damn right, sis. Ms. Perry Pinto said, abortion is not of our teaching. Listen, it's not of our culture to abort. Ever. You understand? Your oppressor told you, yeah, you could, there's a way for you to get rid of the baby if you're not ready. Well, guess what? If you're not ready to have a baby, don't have sex. Like, it's not even, listen, it's not rocket science. If you're not ready to have a baby, don't have sex. You understand? As a matter of fact, you don't even know when you're ready to get married. And sex is marriage. When your father or the men above you, the men in authority, right, that is not your husband, meaning your father, it could be your uncle, you understand? He knows when you're ready. Right? A woman, when is a woman ready to marry? Is because she's a woman of marriageable age, a virgin, a woman of marriageable age. She don't decide when she's of marriageable age. The father decides when she's of marriageable age. And if we would go back to our culture by doing that, listen, we wouldn't have any whores in our community. Wouldn't be any woman regretting having sex with a man or whatsoever and then wanting an abortion. You understand? Because they would have been ready. And this is practical knowledge that you can only find in the I.S.U.P.K. Outside the I.S.U.P.K, Lord be with you. It's dangerous out there. Lord be with you. But again, never trust your oppressor. Now let's get back on the topic, right? So again, Canada spent billions of dollars to fund the Ukrainians. You understand? And he doesn't give a damn about us. Matter of fact, let's go to there. This other post said Canada brings back visa requirements for 25,000 Mexicans just visiting Canada, but not for millions of Filipinos, East Indians, Chinese, Iranians, Pakistanis who are moving to Canada. Listen, they don't give a damn about you and they have no respect for you. They don't care about you. They never cared about you. You need to understand that. Canada is not the Switzerland of North America. Canada is just as oppressive as the US with stricter gun laws. That's it. Canada, there's more freedom in Canada to use drugs than in the US, but there's less freedom to use guns. And really, that's the only difference between the US and Canada. A devil is a devil nonetheless, wherever he is, whether it's a French devil, a Canadian devil, an American devil, an Australian devil, a so-called Jewish devil. What else? A Spaniard, a Portuguese devil. A devil is a devil. You should not expect nothing but being deceived by the devil. The devil could speak to me in Dutch. I would know he's a devil. Why? Because he's Caucasian. That's it. It's that simple. And these people are the devil the Bible speaks of. Because of the Christian church, you think in your head devil is just a red humanoid with cow hooves, a dragon tail, bull horns, and a pitchfork. Listen, that lie comes from your oppressor. You trust your oppressor telling you who the devil is, not knowing that you should not trust your oppressor. You should not trust the enemy. You understand? Budsy said the immigrants from Europe have a much easier time than illegal immigrants. Listen, first of all, there is no such thing as illegal immigrants on their own land, but that's correct. The immigrants from all over the planet have a much easier time than so-called Latinos and so-called West Indians and Haitians and Dominicans. And listen, name it. They have a easier time than us because they're not oppressed like we are. You understand? They're part of the crafty council. They're part of the technique to destroy us. Let me pull that up real quick. We're going to go to Psalm chapter 83, right? You're going to understand that it's not just the Caucasian you have to worry about. It's every single nation that is not of your people. They all work together to destroy you. You understand? It's nothing new. Damn, there's a video of the East Indians. Good night. They despise you. The East Indians despise you. The China man, listen, we know long time the Asians, they don't like us. You know, it's normal for them not to like us. And what would we expect anyone that's outside our nation to like us? It's like when you go out your house, you expect love from strangers, and then you're shocked that the stranger doesn't love you. Why would a stranger love you? He's not part of your family. Like, why would this shock you for a stranger not to love you? Like, what is it mandatory to just love every single person on the planet, on the face of the earth? Is that mandatory? Haven't you never grew up in a black or Hispanic household? I'll tell you, who cares about what the others say? You know, we love you. We got your back. We're your family. Well, guess what? Outside the black, Latino, or Native American community, you should not give a damn who loves you or who doesn't love you. Just expect anyone to despise you. And you should not give a damn because we're your family. When I say we're your family, we're talking about the UPK because those outside the UPK, you could count them as heathens because they want to join and be part of the heathen society. Count them as heathens. Expect them to not love you because they love their slave master. How can they love the oppressed if they love the oppressor? They can't. It's that simple. You understand? When we talk about drugs, but your name is the Antichrist, Lord be with you. Lord be with you. You understand? Now, let me get that precept to show you that every single nation right? Every single nation should not be trusted besides your own. Psalm chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. We're going to start at verse 1. We're going to jump down to verse 2, as a matter of fact. Right? Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. You understand? What's a tumult? A tumult is like they make noise, like a riot. You understand? They're getting agitated. The enemies of God are getting agitated and lifting up the head. Why? Because they're ready to challenge God. That's what's going on. They're ready to challenge him. You understand? Let's go to the next verse. Before I read the next verse, you see, Budsy said, why hasn't there been an industrial revolution in Africa yet? Ask the Africans. That's all you do. Ask the Africans. You understand? That's all you have to do. Ask the Africans. I'm not African. Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? Is the 12 lost tribes of Israel, who are really not lost. We know who they are now. Who's thy people? People of God are children of God. Who's the children of God? The children of the nation of Israel. Let's see who's taking crafty counsel against the people and who's against the people of God. Who's against the hidden ones? Who's against the nation of Israel? 12 tribes who are blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You understand? Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. Listen, the reason why you identify yourself as Jamaican, Haitian, Mexican, Mayan, Arawak, Cree, because they make sure you don't identify yourself as a Gadite, as a Benjamite. You understand? The reason why they're going to argue with you that the Jewish man over there oppressing the Palestinians is the real Jew, that the Ethiopians are the real Jew, or the Igbo or whatever are the real Jews, because they want to make sure that you are not the real Jew. They want to make sure that you don't come back to your identity, to your culture. You understand? Let us cut them off from being a nation. The reason why they create issues between black and brown people, they're trying to cut us off from they're trying to cut us off from gathering together with our people, so that we forget that we're Israelites. You understand? Verse 5. Now let's find out who he's talking about. Psalms 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Meaning what? They all in one accord. They understand the assignment. What is the assignment? The assignment is to destroy that specific people and to make sure they never come back to knowing that they are the true chosen people of God. It's that simple. That's the assignment. And they're succeeding. I mean, they succeeded until 1969. Since 1969, we've been giving back our people the true knowledge, their true identity, their true culture, their true language. Since 1969, under Kermen and Joel YAHANNA. You understand? And we never stop, and we'll never stop. When Christ comes back, listen, you don't want to be out there outside the ISUPK when Christ comes back. You want to argue that? No sweat. Argue that, you found a better place, is better in another group, they have more freedom. No sweat. Argue about that all you want. That's fine. Argue about whatever you want. That's fine. I'm going to just let you know, for those tuning in tonight, that I told you, under Kermen and Joel YAHANNA, you don't want to be outside the ISUPK when Christ comes back. Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom. Who's Edom? The Edomites. Another name for Esau. The Caucasian race. And the Ishmaelites. Who are the Ishmaelites? The sons of Ishmael. So-called Arab nations. Of Moab. Who are that's the biblical name of the Chinese. And their descendants. And the Hagarenes. You understand? All these nations on down, right? It mentions also verse 7, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. All these nations, if we're talking about every single nation on the face of the earth, right, are your enemies, are against you. You should not trust, obviously, you should not trust in the oppressor, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. You should not trust in the Arabs converting to Islam. Listen, you converting to Islam is just following an Arab Christian. That's really what it is. You understand? That's all it is. Right? Should not be a Buddhist. Yeah, this should not follow after the Africans. But the African sold you in the slavery. The African sold you to the Caucasian man. So you're gonna trust the people who sold you? You know that just like the Caucasian man branded you on the ship, they branded you before going to the ship. You understand? Basically, you should not trust any nation. Know that all these nations, they came under one accord to make sure that you are a destroyed people. You should never trust them. They make sure that you try to integrate their society and take on their culture, because their culture, the culture of every single nation on the face of the earth that is not an Israelite, is just a sinful lifestyle. You understand? You should observe their culture if you feel like it. You're going to see for yourself. Whether it's the LGBTQ culture, or it's the culture of eating all types of nonsense like the bats, the rats, the monkey meat, the bush meat, whatever the case is. The Arabs claim that they follow after God, right? That we follow after the same God, whatever the case is. I'm going to show you that's false. Maybe they don't eat pork. Fine. They do eat shellfish. They do eat snails. They eat shrimp. You understand? We're not supposed to do that. So go observe any single culture, you'll see for yourself, right? We're not supposed to follow after any other culture but our own. Do you see any other culture taking on another nation's culture? You're the only people who really do that. Outside of us, no one adopts the culture of another nation, especially not a nation that is enemy to their own culture. You understand? Before I get the other precept, let me read these questions in the chat on the TikTok. But it says Syrians aren't white people. Listen, a lot of these people, for argument's sake, I'm going to say a mix. Why do I say a mix? Because even though you're the seed of your father, you're going to find true Arab over there. You're going to find Greek babies, because when the Greek Empire came and conquered Egypt, listen, they went through some part of the Middle East as well. So a lot of these people are just Greek babies. You have Turkish babies. You have Roman babies. You understand? And they know. Maybe they kept the language of the land. That doesn't mean that, you know, they are of the people who speak that language. No, they just speak the language. Like today, I speak English right now. Does that mean that I'm of the British? I'm of a British seed? No, that's irrelevant. The language you speak is irrelevant to the land you stay in. You understand? A lot of these people, whether it's the Syrians, good night, those Palestinians, a lot of them not even Arabs. Again, they're Greek babies. You know. Pretty Picto said, who are the people living on stolen land in Israel right now? They're Caucasian. There's a mix of you have Africans over there. You have our people over there as well. Our people decided to go back there for whatever reason. They follow after some nigga nut. They decided to go back to the land thinking, yeah, you know, it's our rightful land. We're going to go back. Guess what? They're as oppressed as they were in America. So our people's over there. The Caucasian men's over there, some Arabs are over there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Amalek, yeah, if you're asking if the people oppressing the Palestinians are Amalekites, they are Amalekites. If that's what you're asking, sis. Blue-eyed people, angel, yeah, they're not, listen, you want to find some real Arabs? Most of the real Arabs are on the Arabian Peninsula. You understand? Saudi Arabia, all that area over there, that's where they really originate from. That's where the land is, I'm not going to say untouched by other nations, but they're not going to be as mixed as like Lebanese, Palestinians, Egyptians, or Syrians, for instance, right? Especially in North Africa. In Africa, you have Africans over there. You have Bears, whatever the case is, right? So yeah, they're not pure Arabs over there. You understand? So any more questions or comments, obviously put them in the chat. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We're gonna keep going with the topic. You understand? I'm gonna show you what we have to do, right? Don't be impressed. Listen, the ISUPK is a reason why we're the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge. Our knowledge that we have is not just practical, it's universal as well. You understand? It's universal as well. You know, and if we don't know something, unlike the Christian church or a Christian pastor, we're not going to be hypocrites about it and make up a response just to satisfy your curiosity. No. If there's something I genuinely don't know, I'll say, listen, I'm gonna come back to you. Just follow the profile. We have next class, I'm gonna come back to you. And I'll come back to you with your answer. You know, if I don't know, listen, we're not like a Christian church or like the oppressor and tell you whatever. You just say, I don't know, let me look it up, and we're gonna look it up for you. Right? Yeah, the I.S.U.P.K has universal and practical knowledge. Right? Again, any more questions, comments, put it in the chat. We're going to get back to the topic. Again, all these nations are confederate against you, meaning what? They're all on one accord. They all agreed together to destroy our people. You understand? Just like they made sure we integrated with their people so that we give up what we have to try to find a place in their society. Just like the Asians were forbidden to build in Caucasian neighborhood, to take Caucasian money, but we're allowed, and we're giving actually bank loans to build their businesses in our neighborhoods and take our money and never put the money back into the neighborhood. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how they operate. You know, it's not like they just decided that overnight. Listen, it's been decided from a long time. You know, we didn't just write Psalm chapter 83 like last week. That's some thousands of years ago. When the Bible said there's nothing new under the sun, and the people say today, we should not repeat the mistakes of the past. Well, guess what? We should not try to integrate. Oh, you think integration was something new with Martin Luther King? Listen, when Moses got us out of Egypt, a lot of people complained, maybe we should just go back to Egypt. Now try to go back to Egypt, and guess what? The tribe of I.S.U.P.K, the Mexicans, are being denied entry in Canada. You're still trying to integrate them. Yes, as a matter of fact, let's get that precept that Officer Sharon was talking about earlier. Give me one moment. This is the book of Psalms, right? No, Salakia. I mean the book of Lamentations, right? Chapter 4, verse 17. Let's see what did they say about the Israelites who wanted to go back to Egypt after Moses freed us, right? Lamentation chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we've watched for a nation that cannot save us. Listen, you're gonna complain that you separate from a people that despises you from the beginning. You understand? Then you're gonna try and join them again. Listen, they're not gonna be able to save. They're not gonna give you clean water. They're not gonna let you come in as a refugee. They don't even want to let you come in as a visitor in the country. And you're still trying to join, still trying to be part of this oppressive kingdom. Listen, if you think that Canada has an issue with immigration, think again. Just like the US, Canada doesn't have an issue with immigration. The proof is that the people who's able to put to make sure you have fruits in the grocery stores are illegal immigrants, mostly Latinos and West Indians. The issue is not with immigration. The thing is that they just despise us. They always did. And it's never going to change. You understand? They despise you from the beginning. And they took advantage of the fact that we're destroyed right now to even oppress us even more. And it's going to worsen. We're going to be oppressed so bad that we're like, damn, maybe I should have listened to these niggas in the UPK. Maybe they were right. No one wants to listen to us. No sweat. It's not going to make us stop, though. You understand? Shit. We're not even surprised they're not listening to us. We're stiff-necked people. We're stubborn. We'd rather be proud Americans than be, you know what? I'm an Israelite. That's biblical too. Nothing new under the sun. So if integration is not new, right? Why don't we try to separate for once? Why don't we try that? Integration never worked. Integration is a failure. So why don't we try segregation? We never tried segregation. It was pushed on us. Actually, segregation wasn't that bad at all. We had a lot of black businesses, had black dentists, doctors who were thriving. You understand? The world was in a recession. We were not in a recession. Integration came, and then now we're back in a recession, and they're thriving and we're not, because we give up everything that we had to be part of that society. And they turn around and spit in our face. Have you seen the meme when two people shake hands and one of the man's hand is actually a snake? Well, I guess this is exactly what happened to us. And not only was it a snake that we shook hands with, but it was a venomous snake. And when it comes to snake, listen, you see a field full of snakes, right? You're not going to try to think, well, which one is venomous, which one is not. You're just going to avoid that field. Or we should avoid that field of snakes, not knowing which one is venomous or not, the same way that we should avoid these oppressors in every single nation that is not ours. That's it. Better safe than sorry, right? But we should separate from these nations and we'd be safe instead of being sorry. So what does it say? What does it say again? Trusting in Egypt is going to be our shame. Well, guess what? We're looking at these nations and be like, damn, I can't believe I trusted this nation. I can't believe, they were acting like that. You understand? This is what it's going to come to. Why? Because we trusted a nation that could not save us, and then we're shocked. We're shocked at the fact that they can't save. We're shocked at the fact that they despise us. We should not. We shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't even care. You understand? Let me get that. 1 second. This is the book of Isaiah, right? Isaiah chapter 30. We'll start at verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children. What does it mean, woe? Woe means death and destruction. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Listen, woe to you, death and destruction to y'all who don't trust in God with true trust in someone else. You don't pray to God. You pray to Donald Trump. You pray to Justin Trudeau to bring you some clean water. You pray to Emmanuel Macron to fix Martinique and Guadeloupe. You don't pray to God. You pray to Caesar Borgia, who you think is Christ. God said, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. God doesn't care. God doesn't hear you because you take counsel from someone else than him who delivered you time after time from the hands of your oppressors. You understand? But give me 1 second. I'm going to just get that precept and I'm going to address your comment, right? Verse 2. Thou walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You go to your oppressor's kingdom. You have to understand Egypt is not the actual Egypt it's talking about. And Pharaoh is just a metaphor talking about. You're going to check, it means you trust in the person in power in that kingdom that you're trying to integrate. That kingdom that is oppressing you, you trust in the people that's in power right now. You walk down to Egypt, just like the natives, they walk down to Justin Trudeau asking for clean water. The Mexicans who are shocked that the Canadian prime minister won't let them in, and then they're still trying to integrate in their society. Listen, Don't be shocked that these people despise you. You understand? What does verse 3 says? Verse 3 says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Listen, you're confused right now that Canada is not letting you in without a visa. You're confused. You thought Canada was accepting everybody. You thought Canada was the Switzerland of North America. Again, just like the U.S., Canada is as oppressive as the U.S. The only difference is the freedom of getting narcotics, as well as the gun laws were more strict in Canada. That's it. Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump are devils. Wherever they are, devils nonetheless. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemarla. Thaba Hashem Yahweh Shai. The water for tuning in. You know, a devil, wherever he is a devil regardless where he's at. You understand? Justin Trudeau in Canada. Donald Trump, Joe Biden. What's the name? I forgot the name of the German chancellor. Listen, a devil's a devil nonetheless. And now that you trust in these devils that will never save you, now that you trust in Bukele, who's just another nation that can never save you, you're confused because you were deceived by these people. You understand? That's why you're confused, because you trusted. Imagine, okay, I don't know if you see, there's a clip of a lioness, right? The lioness made it seem like she adopted a baby gazelle. I think they ended up eating the baby gazelle, but guess what? The baby gazelle was confused because she thought, yeah, you know what? I could play with the lioness, whatever the case is. You understand? And then she was all confused when she ended up on the dinner plate of the lioness. Well, guess what? You're just like that baby gazelle. You trust in your predator, and then you're confused when the predator bites you in the end, bites your head off. You're not confusing about that. You understand? It's simple. Don't trust in your oppressor. Don't trust in the people that shed your blood, that tribes, whose society thrives on your bloodshed. You understand? It's not even rocket science, really. Again, that's the best analogy I have for you. Imagine a group of wildebeests just saying, you know what? We're going to integrate with the lions. Maybe we're going to have a better chance. Let's integrate with the lions. Listen. And then the wildebeests turn around and be shocked when the lions bite someone's head off. That's you, Black, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's you. You understand? That's you. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. That's it. It leaves you confused because why? You're deceived by the smooth words. Yes, vote for me. I'm going to be prime minister. I'm going to give the reservation clean water in Canada. It's been 7 years, not one drop of clean water have been provided to the res in Canada. And you still think, you know what? Maybe he's going to open his heart at some point. Maybe we have to show them the way. You understand? Listen, whatever you show them, they Lord be with you. Whatever you show them, you can't change. The gazelle cannot change the mind state of the lion. The prey cannot change the nature of the predator. That baby gazelle, she didn't try to change the nature of that lioness. That lioness was just confused and then ended up coming back to her sense and eat that baby gazelle. You can't change the nature of the oppressor. You can't change the nature of the Arabs. You can't change the nature of the Asians. You can't change the nature of the Africans. You can't change the other people, these nations' nature. No, they don't like you. They never will. Not because you have Eminem as a rapper, you grew up with Eminem. Not because you have China Mac, you think, well, you know what? He appreciates our culture. Maybe, there might be one good China man. Who knows? What's an East Indian rapper? I think Nav in Toronto. You think, yeah, he appreciates our culture. Guess what? Newsflash. Let me help you out. They don't just appreciate the culture. They're culture vultures. What's the rapper's name? Florida again. Ace Hood. Listen, I loved I.S.U.P.K when I grew up, you know. Come to find out, he said, yo, that We the Best thing, me and DJ Khaled came up with it. But now, he said, I'm just paraphrasing. He said, you know, I got deceived by DJ Khaled because now it's his own thing. But me, I thought we were family and this and that. Listen, I.S.U.P.K didn't know that he should have never trusted in another nation. He trusted in DJ Khaled, and DJ Khaled stabbed him in the back. He took that We the Best concept and ran it. Like, when you hear We the Best, you don't think about I.S.U.P.K, you think about DJ Khaled, who's, I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest. I think he's the number 2 biggest culture vulture. The number 1 is the people oppressing the Palestinians. Number 2 is DJ Khaled. You understand? You can't change them. No matter what movie role you gave them, it doesn't matter if you think, you know, look at Mark Wahlberg. I think that's his name, right? Mark Wahlberg, he was an old interview with Shabba Ranks in the UK. He's rapping and everything. Like he likes black music, right? Guess what? Mark Wahlberg used to run a racist gang in Boston. And they just used to walk around and beat up on minorities. You think because you've seen him with Shabba Ranks out of the blue, now he's changed? Because if he's changed, now you could change the rest of racist Boston? Listen, Christianity is a hell of a drug. Christianity is a bad hallucinogenic drug. You understand? This is why you should get out the church. Christianity is worse than crack. A crackhead knows he's sick. A Christian doesn't know they're sick. I could walk around right now and throughout the city, speak to crackheads and let them know, listen, it's a detriment to your health. That crack is going to kill you. They'll agree with me, though. You can tell a Christian that being a Christian is a mistake. They say, oh, you're evil, or no. They say whatever nonsense Christians say, right? That's why I say crackheads are better than Christians. Literally. They know they have a problem. The Christian, they don't know they have a problem. Christianity teaches you to love your oppressor and to hate the oppressed. It's that simple. Those Latinos for Trumps are Christians. Those Haitians over here voting for Justin Trudeau, for Biden, Trump, they're Christians. Every single oppressed person within our nation is a Christian that is voting for their oppressor. You understand? And I'm not, again, the Bible says prove all things. Let me show you can't be on both sides. Listen, I'm not making this up. It should just be common sense. But the Bible is helping you right now, right? Let me get you, what's that precept again? Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, if I'm not mistaken. We're coming to the end of the class. So let's get these few more precepts. You understand? Again, any questions, comments, get them in the chat. Chief, I cannot read that African name. The world used to be a piece of land until tomorrow Africa is still splitting. What is Africa splitting? What are we getting from Africa? Listen, the only thing we got from Africa is being branded and then being sold toward a Caucasian man. We didn't get nothing from Africa. And we don't want nothing from Africa either. You could keep your flies and your mosquito burgers. You understand? Buddy said King James of England was an evil man who hated Catholic Church, but they used the KJ. Listen, King James, right, went against the church, which is why they demonize him today. This is why they try to portray him as white. This is why they try to portray him as a part of the LGBTQ community. You understand? He went against the church. He had the Bible translated. He had the Bible. He hired scholars, Hebrew and Greek scholars, to have the Bible translated in what we have today, which is why it's called the King James Version. The King James was not an evil man, in the sense where we should not be using the King James Version. As a matter of fact, Most High in Christ, that King James had it translated for us, right? But he was not in the truth. He was not in the truth. Khan, go ahead, Otto one. Salakia.
Yeah, Salakia, if I may, like, you even look at Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 28 and 11, where it says precept must be upon precept. And then jump down, it says that the Lord would speak to us in another tongue. I think it's verse 11. I mean, like having that King James version, that 1611 King James Bible, you know what I mean? That was of the Lord.
Damn right.
I mean, that was of God. That was of God. So, you know, what that brother did, you know what I mean? Having that book translated was an extremely important thing for our people. You know what I mean? And even King James himself, you know, he...
Yeah, it sounds like you're breaking up right now.
Kind of slacky. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you now again.
Yeah, it's like King James. He was a brother who understood that the Bible is for Israel and nobody else. You know what I mean? So having a brother who was able to, you know, kind of carry on that torch and understand how important these records were for the children of Israel, I mean, it's such a valuable thing for us today. I wouldn't go on to say that King James was evil. Yeah,
Damn right.
That was it.
No, damn right. I mean, he was not in the truth, but to say that he was evil, nah. You understand? But let me get that precept. Rabbi, this is not the time for your shenanigans. Rabbi, this is not the time for your shenanigans. You're the one who have morals that drink blood, not us. You understand? Being a moral is of your culture. This is what you do, what your people do. And then you pass on the herbs to little babies. We don't do that. Your people do that. And they still do it up till this day. You know. But let me show you that you can't trust in both the oppressed and the oppressor. You have to pick your side. You have to pick a side. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters. So you can't be on God's side and on the side of the enemies of God. No man can serve two masters. And it's written in red, so it's Christ speaking. Christ is letting you know you can't serve two masters. You can't be with God and vote. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. This is why you can't be Christian and claim to love your people. Being a Christian, Christianity is white supremacy. So if you're a Christian, you decide to follow the white supremacist, you're going to have to hate your people. You can't do both. It's not going to work. You understand? You can't be hot and cold at the same time. You can't be lukewarm. You have to pick a side. Now, when you're playing a sport, you can't be for both teams. You have to choose a side. You understand? That's it. So you have to stop. You can never trust your enemies. By voting, you trust in your enemies to try and fix your people when they're the reason why your people is destroyed. By looking at them like expecting anything from them besides oppression, you put your faith in them. We should never put your faith in anyone else but the Lord of the children of Israel. Even God told you, listen, you want to follow after them, no sweat, follow after them. Well, guess what? Ask them to save you. I'm the one who saved you out of Egypt. And you don't want to trust in me, you want to trust in them? No sweat. Ask them to save you now. You understand? God don't deal with hypocrites. Listen. You know, I gave you I gave you life. You want to go worship someone else? I make sure you're okay. You want to go worship someone else? No sweat. Go see that person. Ask them to give you bread. Ask them to give you food. Ask them to make sure you have a rib. Something. You know, go trust in them. In fact, let's get that real quick, right? Before we end the class. We get the book of Judges. I think I'm not mistaken, chapter 10. Judges chapter 10, we'll start at verse 10. Judges 10 and 10, right? We'll start there. Yes, then. What did he say? Rabbi said, is that not a Passover practice? No, that's not a Passover. Amalekite practice. That's a Jewish practice. Emphasis on the ish, I-S-H. Understand? It's not an Israelite practice. You cannot find that anywhere through Israelite records. That's most likely, well, you probably go find that in the Talmud, because the Talmud justifies all acts of sexual deviancies that you partake in, that your people partake in. You understand? We're not Jewish. We don't have a religion. We don't have no disgusting practices, right? The Bible is our moral code. You will never find that in any Israelite historical record. Your people are disgusting. Your people are actually vampires, literally. You understand? Go look up what a moil is. For those who don't know, go look up what a moil is. It's a Jewish vampire. Now, let me get back to the scripture, right? Because we're about to end the class in a few. The book of Judges, chapter 10, verse 10. What did it say? It said, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, saying, we have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our God and also served Baalim. So now, that's in the book of Judges, right? When we're under captivity under another heathen nations, and we're admitting to God, listen, we made a mistake, right? We made a mistake because besides forgetting about you, we put our faith in someone else. Besides turning our back against you and just forgetting about you, right? We put our faith in someone else. You understand? Let's see what God says about that. Verse 11, and the Lord said to the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites and from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines? God said, did not I deliver you from all those heathen nations who are oppressing you, all of them who had you in captivity? Was I not the one who saved you? That's what he's saying, right? Like, why would you turn your back against me when I saved you? That's basically what he's saying, right? Judges 10, verse 12. The Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, who are rabid rabbis people in the TikTok, and the Maonites did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their land. Every single time a nation was oppressing us, we didn't trust in our enemies. We trusted in the Lord, and he delivered us. Right? But just like in Judges chapter 10, even till today, we always turn our back against the Lord. We played a harlot. We played a prostitute. That's what the Lord calls us. The Lord compared us to a woman that cheats on her husband when we follow after another nation and follow after other gods instead of him. You understand? Because he's the one saving us all the time. But the Lord's not a simp. He's not going to keep saving us if we keep turning our back against him. No, this is our last captivity. Because we're getting back to our roots. We're getting back to our culture. We're getting back to our customs, to following our God. This is why after this captivity is going to be any more captivities, because we won't follow after any other gods. Every single nation is going to know who the God of Israel is. Listen, this is not going to be any more rock worshiping over there in Mecca. It's not going to be worshiping of Buddha anymore, or the East Indians' 10-armed, weed-smoking transgender god. No. Everyone's going to follow after the Israelites, who are worshiping the God of the children of Israel, the one and only true God. Let's keep reading. Judges 10 and 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. God said, listen, it's like I told you, you want to keep following after the other people's culture, these other nations' culture. You want to keep serving their gods. God said, listen, I keep saving you time after time after time, and you keep turning your back against me. You keep following after the other gods. Let's see what he says about that. He says in verse 14, go and cry unto the other gods. Salaki, go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. God said, listen, want to follow after them? Why don't you ask them for help? Like, I got your back, and you turn against me and follow someone that you follow a pebble, a rock. Ask the rock for help. That's it. want to follow after the elephant god? Go ask Dumbo for help. That's it. That's what God's telling you right now. You understand? You want to follow after the Egyptian and worship the pigeon god? Go ask the pigeon for help. Ask him to flap his wings and deliver you from slavery. How about that? That's literally what God's telling you. Why? Because he's the one, setting the earth ablaze. Like, he's the one creating all those natural disasters, calamities. Yes, he's the one letting you know, listen, I'm real. They're not. Like, you see how he rendered the kingdom of Egypt desolate? And you still want to follow after the Egyptian gods, the crocodile god. You want to follow after Buddha, a fat Chinese man. God said, yeah, that's how it is. No sweat. Go worship the fat Chinaman. Come see me later. That's literally what God is telling you. You're too stubborn. You're just hard-headed. Like, being hard-headed isn't our nature, eh? You're so hard-headed, you just be like, you know what? It's easier to be a Christian because you're not accountable for your sins. It's easier to be a Muslim because you're not accountable for your sins and you worship something different than a white man. So you think that's the solution to fix our people. Not that you don't fall after white supremacy, you fall after Arab supremacy, as if it could fix us. Instead of just following after the God of the children of Israel, who is your God, the one and only true God. You understand? That's why I said, listen, religion, any religious person, whether it's, first of all, everything outside of UPK is Christianity. And Christianity is worse than crack, like I said earlier. You understand? And you're so stubborn, you can't even see how bad it is. And let me show you how stubborn you are, right? Andy Mack said, you think the Bible been changed? The King James, let me answer that. The 1611 King James Version is the most accurate translation from the Hebrew and the Greek text. You understand? Outside the King James Version is nonsense. I hope I answered your question. Right? But let me get these quick precepts before we end the class. Right? Give me 1 second. About to get Ezekiel chapter 13. Let me show you how hard-headed you are. Let me show you how bad it is. Ezekiel chapter 13. We're going to start at verse 3. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 3. It says, thus said the Lord God, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirits. Not Salakia. Ezekiel chapter 3, I meant, not 13. Ezekiel chapter 3. That's this one. Ezekiel chapter 3, we're going to start at verse 4. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 4. And he said unto me, son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. You understand? He's talking to us to go and wake up our people, basically. Right? And let them know, listen, you're the Israelites, and hear what you're supposed to do. Here's what you're not supposed to do. Here's what's going to happen if you do that. Here's what's going to happen if you don't do that. Right? So that's the context of it. You understand? Let's keep reading. Verse 5. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. So we're not sent, basically, we're not sent to heathens. You understand? We're not sent to people that can never understand what we're talking about. Right? We're only sent to the nation of the house of Israel. We're only sent to the people that are known today as so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. That's who we're sent to, the true biblical Jews of antiquity. Right? Let's keep reading, and then I'm going to address your other question. Verse 6. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 6. Not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely I had sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Listen, Send us to the Philippines right now and let the Filipinos know they're Israelites. They're not going to argue. Send us anywhere in the world. Go tell the Africans they're Israelites. They're not going to argue. Go tell the Chinaman. Go tell the East Indians they're Israelites. They listen, they're going to jump, dance around, and party all day and night. Say, yeah, we're the chosen people of God, and God's only going to save us. No heathen nation would ever argue if you tell them they're the chosen one and that God only loves them. You're the only one who does that, though. We go to verse 7, Ezekiel 3 and 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. They don't listen to us. The reason why you don't listen to the UPK is because you don't listen to God. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Listen, you're stubborn. Or they'd be like, no, listen, I was an Inca and a Maya, and they say we was kings and nonsense. Listen, are you the people of God? He said, no, I don't want to be the people of God. This is how hard-headed you are. We go to any other nation telling they're the people of God, they would listen. They would rejoice. They'd be glad to be the people of God. The true biblical Jews of antiquity, they don't give a damn. No, they don't give a damn. They're just hard-headed. That's it. And that's the reason why you're destroyed today. Right? Let me show you this real quick, and then I'm going to address the other comment, right? Let's go to Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected the knowledge. Listen, you're destroyed right now for a lack of knowledge, but you refuse the knowledge. Why? Because you're hard-headed. You rather be a proud American. You rather be a Mexican. You rather be Colombian. You rather be Haitian and practice voodoo. So you reject the knowledge of the Bible. The white man told you that's his book. You believe him when it's not. You understand? Because you reject the knowledge, that's what you destroy today. And let's see what's about that knowledge. These nations know that if we know that we're Israelites and we follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, if we know, listen, the Bible knows that these nations call us the wisest nation, the smartest, the wisest nation on the face of the earth. Right? Before I read this last precept, let me address this comment. And the man said, what are people who aren't natives and black and Latino supposed to do in your view? Listen, I'm going to get this precept, then I'm going to respond to that question, right? Deuteronomy 4 and 5, it says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Listen, all those statutes, commandments, we should follow them everywhere we are, even if we're not in a land at the moment. Deuteronomy 4 and 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. Here's our wisdom. Here's our knowledge. And your understanding in the sight of the nations. This is the knowledge. We should not eat pork, eat shrimp, crab, lobster. Sex is marriage. You understand? We should not be drunkards. We have a whole dietary law. We should forgive each other. You understand? We have, the Bible is our moral code in the face of the nations. We should love one another. This is all there will respect us, and that they'll know we follow after our God and not their culture. Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. They know we're the wisest nation on the face of the earth. You understand? We don't eat monkey meat. We don't worship a 10-armed transgender God. You understand? We don't worship a rock. We don't say, well, we know God, and then claim that we know God because we don't eat pork, yet we eat shrimp, crab, lobster. No. We don't do that. Because we're a wise nation. Now, I'm going to have this last precept ready. You understand? Shawan said, live their life. One day they won't have a choice but to serve Israel. Exactly. Listen, anyone who's not a so-called native, Negro, or Latino, listen, live your life. Enjoy the kingdom. Enjoy the kingdom because it's coming to an end. You understand? Well, we will rule righteously. And I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to end the class right here. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1 says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land." Listen, we'll be back in our own land. God's going to have mercy on us when he's going to bring death and destruction to this empire. Keep reading. "And the strangers shall be joined with them, and it shall cleave to the house of Jacob." So every single heathens that are not, the nation of Israel, they're going to be joined with us. No sweat. They'll be joined with us. You understand? And let's see what will be their role in the kingdom of the Most High. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 2, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place." So we put them in their place. Number one. "And the house of Israel," which are black, Latinos, and natives, "shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids." Is going to be your place in the kingdom. "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Every single nation oppressing us will have part and have a hand in on our oppression. Listen, we'll rule over them righteously. And let me show you how it's righteous, right? Which is going to answer your last question, because I'm about to end it. He said, "What do you think about what they're doing to the Palestinians?" It's horrible. What do you think they've been doing to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, Andy? And to add on that response I just gave you, when the righteous are in authority, Proverbs 29:2, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." The reason why the Palestinians are mourning right now is because we're not in authority. If we were in authority righteously, listen, Palestinians will rejoice. They'll be glad. You understand? They'll be glad. But we won't be in authority. Because just like 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 52 said, 6 and 9, Salakia said, "Esau is the end of the world," meaning the end of this empire, and Jacob is the one that follow it. Listen, we're the next empire and the last to be, that we will never fall. This empire you see right here, this Caucasian oppressive empire, is the last empire that will fall. After that, our empire is going to last forever. It's not going to be any tears anymore, because when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. We will rejoice. You understand? And let me show you right now that, listen, when we're in rulership, there's not going to be any more tears, any more sorrow anywhere. Right? And then I'm going to end this with this. I'm going to end the class with this. Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There was no more sea." What is it talking about? You understand? It's talking about a change of power, right? A change of rulership. That's why it says there's a new heaven, a new earth. It's not talking about a physical planet Earth just coming up out of nowhere. No. It's talking about a change of rulership, a change of position of power. The man that's controlling the world right now, forget about him. Gonna be gone. You understand? We will be in rulership righteously. Let me show you what's going to happen. We'll be in rulership. Verse 4, Revelation 21:4. "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." Listen, there's not going to be any more people oppressed like they are oppressed today. Never again. We'll be in rulership righteously. When the righteous are in rulership, the people will rejoice. People will, good night, they're going to cry tears of joy because they're serving the righteous. They're finally serving a nation that is not oppressive. They're finally serving a nation that is not wicked. They're finally serving a nation that is not a murderous nation, that is not despicable, disgusting. You understand? They'll be glad to serve us. Shit, they get nice. So like I also saw one. Imagine having a heathen just smiling on the plantation. You understand? Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. Right? That's how it's gonna be. Why? Because we're supposed to be in the rulership. We're supposed to be in rulership from a long time. The reason why we're not is because we trusted our enemies. Let me get that last precept and then I'm gonna end the class, as a matter of fact, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations under the earth. We're supposed to be in rulership. You understand? That's what it's talking about. If we obey God, if we serve God, if we obey the commandments, we don't disobey. But let's see why we're not in rulership right now. And then that's the last verse, right? Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And this is why we're destroyed today. And this is why we're at the bottom of society. This is why we're not in rulership, because we disobeyed the Most High. Nothing more, nothing less. You understand? Crystal Charday, Shalom sis, Yahweh Shema Tabashim Yahweh Shai. Salaki sis, you came in at the end of the class. But we'll be back. We'll back next week, as a matter of fact. You understand? This is our weekly scripture breakdown, bringing all your questions, comments whatsoever. Right? I'm going to get the security announcements. I'm going to end the class. Again, this is our Thursday scripture breakdown, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in Monday. We have the history class with Officer 500 Shayawan. He has the history class. You understand? Every Monday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday, also Zabaja has the law class. And again, our third law class, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. No, it's like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, our Thursday class, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tune into I.S.U.P.K Montreal, where we have the same classes in French, right? I'll be right with you. That says clap it up, and I'm going to get you the security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for your brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, and if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to treasury department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have the 55th Lord's Passover, right, coming up. April 20th, 2024 will be in Durham, North Carolina. You understand? Contact the I.S.U.P.K in your zone or the closest I.S.U.P.K to your zone for all the details, whether it's the transportation arrangement as well as the lodging whatsoever, right? Pay your tithes and Passover fees on isupk.com. A reminder to all Akim and Aquatim to check the bulletin board or hallway of their school if they have a physical location. And if anyone or any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. With that said, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. You understand? Give me 1 second. That's a Menavishal Amajim, which means to stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavishal Amajim Shabbat. Majim Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Barakatam. Mean Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, so means just turn. So turn and face the sisters. If you have any in your presence, we'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Menavishal Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahweh Shai. Yahweh watch over y'all, protect y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General YAHANNA, presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right. The Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General YAHANNA is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Gathered on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders.